Every dream begins quietly. An idea, a hope, a desire for something more. But for many, the journey from dream to reality is not always clear. Sometimes, all it takes is access.
Like remember 2016, the life was so tough. I started with kerosene, selling kerosene, 25 liters. I remember that 24th December 2016. Then there was nothing in the house. So it was only onions that I put in the water. It was boiling. The aroma was, while I went out to go and buy gari that me and my children would drink that fateful day. Now a customer now approached me if I can supply 100 bags of cement. That was how I started my life.
I started moving from one house to the other to pack children. At times, we have to wait for them to even take their baths.
In 2006, Axion Microfinance Bank began its journey in Nigeria with a simple belief that with the right support, people could build futures far beyond their circumstances.
I think that financial inclusion, for me, is simple. It's democratizing access. Everyone, level playground. In your locality where you are, having the opportunity to realize your potential without constraint of financial support, and increasingly also of other resources and access to market that you would need.
With Action's effort, of course, combined with efforts of others, we have seen financial inclusion rate increase significantly from the probably around 50% or less when they started to now, over 70%, maybe close to 80%.
And how do you build a nation where the poor will not be oppressed? It is by leveraging on the available resources to lead the poor into financial freedom.
At that time when we started, 70% of Nigerians were living in poverty. That's below the poverty line. So they need to also be part of the economy. If you look at the economy, the GDP of Nigeria, agric forms a large portion. Small business services forms the next largest portion.
My biggest challenge then was finance. Because somebody starting business with as low as 20,000 naira, it's not up to anything.
Nobody have to support me. No have a brother. I'm the one that support my brothers. So I don't have somebody, even 5 naira, my family never give to me.
The founders of Axiom Microfinance Bank, they saw a gap, but in financing ability. But they also saw, more importantly, they saw the people, They saw hardworking Nigerians who were told that their dreams are not bankable, There were market traders, there were tailors, there were mechanics that run real businesses, but they didn't have any access to formal credit.
I come from a family background that the money is not there, that somebody can easily say, take this one, go and start this thing. So in terms of moral support, encouragement to succeed in life, I had it from friends and the families, but financially, I had to start from scratch.
Ìgbà tí mo máa kọ́kọ́ gba owó ní Axiom Microfinance Bank, nígbà yẹn mo nílò láti ra mọ́tò kan, ṣùgbọ́n owó tí mo ní ò pé. Mo dẹ̀ rí pé mọ́tò yẹn tí n bá rà, tí n bá tà, èrè ló máa jẹ́ fún mi. Ẹni yẹn ó ń ṣiṣẹ́ ní Mr. Ṣọlá yẹn, ó ń ṣiṣẹ́ ní Axiom Microfinance Bank. Òun ló wá introduce mi sí agric branch, CBM tó wà ń bẹ̀ ń gbà yẹn. Àwọn náà wá bá mi ṣe tówó yẹn fi jáde.
I think it was one of my suppliers. He came to me that, Mommy, you're supposed to be printing exercise book. I said, I don't have the money. He said, you don't have the money. There is a bank, a microfinance bank at Ikotun that you can go there. I said, I don't have bank accounts then. I said, what about if they ask for my bank. He said they will not ask. When I got there, I met one Mr. Salah, who was Salami. I can't really remember the name. And I told him, he said they don't borrow schools money there. He said, what other things are you selling? I said, I sell books and uniform. He said, we can apply on that. So they borrowed me 350,000.
A lot of people who have never used formal banking, they're not actually unwilling. And it's not like they're particularly resistant to banking. But they simply have not encountered a system that felt accessible or they trust in, right? Built for them. So in my response, I would say that they're resistant to banking. It's because they are cautious that financial institutions as they are historically distant to them. They are complex, they are inaccessible.
The first time I heard about Action, they are in this market. So each time I passes by, I'll see their signboard. I'll say Action Microfinance Bank. I will say to myself, one day I'll come here and ask them. But I never did until the workers were just passing. They say, Mama, you are here? I say, yes. So, we did give money, but the bank with us, so maybe they give you money. I said, okay, I will start. But I never did until one day, one of them, I can't remember her name, now came. Mama, today you must open an account. Follow me, no open account for you. I said, okay. I just followed her. See if she used a button to press me to stand up. I never knew it was God that sent her to come and meet me and follow her. I never knew I would benefit very well from it. So I followed her. They opened accounts. I started. That's how it all started.
What we have done over these 2 decades was to meet these customers where they are, in their markets, in their territories, in their locations, in their habitations. And we have tested methodologies that we normally deploy. We take value of your business assets and determine how much you can take.
For many, this was the moment everything began to shift.
After the law, we mean like say, you use 200,000 to do business, person can't give you another 200,000. Something must change. At least if maybe you are buying 20 pairs of shoes, you know you have added 40.
I can remember my son wanted to pay money for work then. So out of the money I made, the interest I made from my capital, I was able to pay for my son. And it really helped my business. It boosts my business.
Our services is about creating impact. It's not just to make money for the bank, but that we are making money for the bank is important, but also that people are creating wealth, they're creating jobs, they become valuable members of their families and society at large.
From this very business we are doing, the family is feeding from here. We get a new car from this same business, living a very comfortable accommodation, and we talked about the community, social life, contributing to the security of my community, contributing the little I have, this is what I'm making from this business, to support the students' welfare, to support those in times of needs.
Before, I cannot even get a good clothes for myself. But today, I am happy. For the fact that I raised 5 graduates from this business, it's so amazing. I give God the glory because it all comes from Action Microfinance Bank. This place we are now is my daughter's own. I opened it for her. I gave it to her as a wedding gift. So business of 2018 yielded all these things.
I'm very proud of what our customers are achieving. Yeah, I'm really. It's not my work; it's the customers who do the work. Yeah, so for me, it's pride, but it's a quiet pride, and it's a lot of humility. I see what they are going through. I see what they are achieving, and this is remarkable. It's not our stories. It's not my stories. It's their stories. Yeah.
In fact, I don't know how to, my life, I call myself a testimony. It's full of testimony, you know, when you seeing yourself from the grass to grace. You know, somebody that started with 50 bags. The people that started with me, some of them are my customers now, buying from me. I'm giving them cement.
What started as a small step became something more. Growth, stability, possibility.
So by the introduction of digital banking by Action Microfinance Bank, it has made banking to become more easier for me, because sometimes I will stay about 2 months or even more than without going to this Abuja here at Nyanya to physically do my transactions. Most of those things I do them online, use my app and do transfer, pay my customers. When I want to buy goods, I still do use the same app. So the digital banking by Action Microfinance Bank has made it easier for me to do my transactions without stress.
For me, financial inclusion is not complete in this country until we get to that level where it becomes a right to have financial services and not a privilege for the few. Because even the issues hanging around digital banking and all that, it is still fishing from the boat. The woman in the market that does not have a phone or even a smartphone cannot play in that field. So for me, the financial inclusion is being able to get to the core of the populace. And these people are in the bottom, they are the bottom of the pyramid. And they definitely need as much financial support as possible.
We still have a number of gaps. We can't say we are perfect. We have access to customers, still a problem, a challenge. We have turnaround time in some of our processes. And of course, we have challenges in reaching customers in remote locations and in underserved communities. So part of how we're addressing them is still remains investing in technology, which we've started and which will continue. We are strengthening our operational infrastructure, and then our process efficiency is part of also what we are trying to do. And aside from that, we're expanding our reach. We're getting into locations we hitherto were not in. So we're expanding into places where the branch or the bank never existed, and that also is going to enable us to reach all the locations, the underserved communities in those areas. We also are investing a bit into financial literacy, sensitization of customers and the populace and the public as a whole, and that also is going to help us in ensuring that we get customers to be financially educated.
Our mission is to economically empower the poor and also businesses that are not able to generate funds to drive the next phase of growth. We're rooted in our vision, we're rooted in our mission. Now, in 20 years, we have been able to support businesses to grow. We have been able to support businesses to survive. The next level for us is to make sure that they become prosperous, that they become big organizations, even bigger than a microfinance bank, that are able to access funds and from development organizations directly. They're able to open several other shops, and they're able to employ more Nigerians. Where we go from here is from sustainability to prosperity. That is what we want the story of the MSME in Nigeria to be.